Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are starting with a new topic, with a new series covering Microsoft Defender for Cloud. But before we go ahead and talk about the sessions and also about the session from today, I want to give you a short introduction about me. My name is Lagler-Gruener. I'm a lead cloud architect in one of the biggest consulting company in Austria named ACP IT Solutions. I'm working since the beginning of the cloud era of the Microsoft Azure cloud area with Microsoft Azure, and this is also the reason why I'm really deep dive in exactly this product, and you can see it based on my certifications. But I think always a little bit broader and also think about other hyperscalers, and this is the reason why I have two certifications, one from GCP and the other one from AWS. Since 2 years, I'm Microsoft Azure MVP as well, and the reason for that is I'm working with the community. I love to work with the community and have different social profiles on Facebook, Twitter, Xing, LinkedIn. You can find me also on GitHub. So I have my GitHub repositories where you can find source codes or scripts. I have for sure my private blog called cloudblogger.at, and yes, for sure, my YouTube channel. Okay, when we talk about the session today will cover Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Microsoft Defender for Cloud is a product which is implemented in Microsoft Azure, and the first session give you an overview about what is the product, why should you use it, but we will cover this a little bit later. This is from session type Nugget, so this means it will take approx 30 minutes this session, and it's from category level 100, so a really base foundation. Okay. What we are planning, what I'm planning in the future. So I'm planning more sessions. This one is the starting session, so Microsoft Defender for Cloud overview. Then we go ahead and talk about the connections to other hyperscaler, to other clouds, and to on-premise as well. So this is the teaser. So it's not only from the cloud for the cloud, this product, it's also a broader product for other hyperscalers and as well on-premise. So then we'll go a little bit deeper into the CSPM model. We will cover this in this session, and here in this session we go a little bit deeper. The same Microsoft Defender for Cloud for the CWPP. And then we'll go ahead and talk about automation. It's really, really important when you have an incident or an alert. How can you handle this alert and how can you automate these alerts? And at the end, we will think about, or we will cover, how can you implement or how can you send the alerts from Microsoft Defender for Cloud to the centralized CM system, Microsoft Sentinel. Okay, so this is the future. I guess these are planned videos in the next few weeks or month. And today we are starting with Microsoft Defender for Cloud, an overview. So what we will cover is, first of all, what is Microsoft Defender for Cloud? So the short name is MDC. Why Microsoft Defender for Cloud? And how can you start when we think about to implement Microsoft Defender for Cloud in your environment? And at the end, the pricing model. It's really, really important to understand the pricing model, the two different options what you have, and as well the options to enable resource-based Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Okay, so what is Microsoft Defender for Cloud? Is a service. It's a platform as a service in Azure, which helps you to protect resources in Azure, other hyperscalers, and as well on-premise. So it's really important. When you think about this product, it's automatically available in each subscription. So you create your tenant, you provision your subscriptions, and you have Microsoft Defender for Cloud in a specified model, exactly in the CSPM model, available in your environment. And the cool feature here, or the cool functionality here is it's for free. So you can use it, you can enable it, you can use it, you can go ahead and think about the recommendations and so on. And it doesn't cost anything to you. And it's really, really important. And when you go ahead, and I have here a typo, I'm sorry for this. When we go ahead and think about the CWPP, then we have another situation. But summarized, it's a service which helps you to protect your resources across your landscape, cloud, on-premise, other hyperscalers. It's based on a platform as a service model, and it's available in each environment. It's for free when you're beginning. Okay, what does means other hyperscalers? Other hyperscalers means AWS and GCP. And since Microsoft Ignite, Microsoft announced a new functionality. So when we think about other hyperscalers as well on-premise, we have to install an agent. The agent is the Microsoft Monitoring Agent or the AMA agent, the new one. But since the Ignite 2022, Microsoft announced the option for AWS to agentless based scanning your environment. It's really, really interesting, and we will cover this also in a separate session. You can protect for sure your on-premise environment, and when we think about Azure resources, Azure services, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service models here, it's also included in Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Okay, so why Microsoft Defender for Cloud? I want to give you a survey from 2021 from EDC Cloud Security. 79 of companies have expired at least one cloud data breach, with 33% reporting on more breaches in the past 18 months. It's really, really huge. So when you go to the Microsoft, or when you have the decision, okay, I want to transfer my services, or when I want to create services in Microsoft Azure or in the cloud, always think about Microsoft do not secure your environment from misconfiguration. So you can provision your VMs, you can provision your storage accounts, for example. You are responsible for exactly this task, to secure your environment and to configure it on the right way. Microsoft delivers different products which can help you. One of the products is for sure Microsoft Defender for Cloud, and it's available out of the box when you provision a new subscription. So where can Microsoft Defender for Cloud helps you? It's easily identifying misconfiguration and vulnerabilities. So it's really important. Microsoft scans Microsoft Defender for Cloud scan your environment, scan your resources, and knows, okay, for example, the storage account here have a public endpoint and have maybe also a container configured without any authentication. And Microsoft Defender for Cloud say, hey, please fix this problem. This is a security issue. It brings all cloud security data into a single view. Yes, for sure. So you have the ability to scan your on-premise environment as well other hyperscalers, and you have one single pane to view, a single pane of view about your security data. It's continuous score your cloud's performance against the Azure or AWS security benchmark. It's also really, really important. And it's protect about cyber attack and quickly identify malicious activities in your environment or in your environments. Okay, and that's summarize what Microsoft Defender for Cloud is. In my later session, I will go more in deep to the different topics. So this is the main foundation from Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So the next point here is, how can we start to implement it, or what are the best options to start here? First of all, you need to have a good designed landing zone architecture. So it's really important to plan your landing zone and to have a good landing zone in place. I always recommend use the enterprise scale framework from Microsoft. It's the best practice to implement in your environment. Depending on your company's size, you can shrink it or you can expand it to the full enterprise scale framework. It depends on you, but always keep in mind you have to build up a good landing zone design architecture. Normally we are starting with the CSPM model, Cloud Security Posture Management. So to have a good security and a high secure score in place. So when we think about your resources in Asia, which are deployed from you or from your other colleagues, there's maybe a misconfiguration. So we covered this before. Microsoft Defender for Cloud knows, okay, for example, for storage account, it's a good idea to protect your containers and also to connect to containers with username or password or with the storage account name and the key. And if you have configured a storage account container without any authentication, Microsoft Defender for Cloud knows, okay, this is really, really bad, and it also decreases your secure score. Secure score is based on your environment in Asia, and it's also a secure score for Asia Active Directory available. And when we are starting, we're starting always with CSPM. So clean up your environment, increase your secure score, and then you can go ahead and when your secure score is high enough and your resources are configured right, we are thinking about the CWPP, Cloud Workload Protection Platform for your workload. And exactly this model is not for free, and we will cover this at the end about the pricing model. So when we are starting with Microsoft Defender for Cloud with the CSPM model, you can see a secure score. On the right side, you can see a screenshot. And this is, for example, for Azure and AWS, the secure score. I have a really, really bad secure score in my environment. I know this, yes. And we have to think about, okay, how can we increase the secure score? The important part here is don't leave security recommendations open. Always think about all your security recommendations. How can you fix it? In some situations, if you plan do not follow the security recommendation, if you discuss this with your security department and the security department say, okay, it's okay for us, we approve the risk, please always have a good justification why. And then you can close the security risk and it does not decrease your secure score. Monitor your secure score every time and always think about the goal should be 100% from your secure score. And more information about secure score and how you can increase it in my next sessions. Okay, now at the end, the pricing model, the CSPM, it's for free. So when you provision your tenant, also deploy your subscriptions, it's always available in each subscription Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So you get recommendation and you also get the secure score for free. The CWPP, it's depending on the workload which you want to protect. So with the CWPP, you protect your workloads against brute force attacks, against security breaches. Keep in mind, when you enable Microsoft Defender for Cloud plan for a workload or a service, you always enable it for a category of services, not for exactly one resource. So for example, when you enable it for a virtual machine, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, for virtual machines, all virtual machines in your environment, in your subscription will be protected. and this increase for sure your costs. And you can see here the different models. It's the new design here. So you can see here Defender CSPM. It's for free. When we think about servers, you have to choose, okay, what kind of plan do you want? We have two different plans, plan 1 and plan 2. Plan 2 have for sure more security features. We will cover this in the CWPP session later on. And then we have different other services. And when we enable it, for example, for your servers, you enable it for all your servers in your environment. Keep this in mind. This will increase your costs. This doesn't mean it's not a good idea. It's really a good idea to enable it, but you have to have a budget for this service. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the live demo. So we will switch in a few minutes in my live environment. And first we get an overview about Microsoft Defender for Cloud. I will show you everything where you can find it, where you can find Microsoft Defender for Cloud, how can you enable it, the different plans for your workloads, and how can you handle recommendation and increase your secure score. So let's go ahead and switch to the live demo. Okay, so here we are. You can see I've opened Microsoft Azure, so portal azureport.com. And when we search for Microsoft Defender for Cloud, it's really easy. Microsoft Defender. Let's look about Defender for Cloud. So it's really simple. You can find here Microsoft Defender for Cloud. When we click on this product, you can see it's available. So I have here one subscription. In my environment, I have 1,166 assessed resources. I have 81 recommendations. It's really, really bad. And have one security alert. This is the security alert is a topic from the CWPP session in a few weeks. At the moment, I will give you also only an overview about this. On the right side, you can see here news, OpenSSL v3 vulnerabilities finder. So it's available right now and you can enable it. In the middle of the section here, you can see your security posture. Depending on your hyperscaler, AWS, GCP or Microsoft Azure for sure. You can see here attack paths, you can see overdue recommendation and unassigned recommendations. So yes, you can assign recommendation to one of your colleagues to change it or to fix the problem. Here on the bottom, you can see the regular compliances. So I have implemented here different compliances, AWS and Microsoft Azure. So we will cover this in a few seconds. And workload protection. And also inventory. So this is from on-premise as well from Microsoft Azure. Okay, on the left side here you have getting started. Normally you have the free version in place. And you can upgrade and get a 30-day free trial about Microsoft Defender for Cloud for the CWPP model. So from your for your resources, for your resource types. Okay, here you can see install agent, where you have to install the agent, where can you install the agent, and also how can you install the agent. So you can deploy it over an Azure policy automatically or manually. It depends on your requirements. On the left side, you can see here also your recommendations from your environment. In this case, these are my recommendations from Microsoft Azure. You can see it here. I have here Microsoft Azure selected. When I switch here to AWS and remove Microsoft Azure, you can see all recommendations from AWS. In my environment, I don't have GCP in place, so this is the reason why it's not available to select. Okay, let's go ahead. Then we have here security alerts. Security alerts are based on your products, and to get a security alert, you need the right Microsoft Defender plan. So in this case, I have a possible vulnerability SQL injection. we will cover this in another section. Then we have here our workbooks. So we have different workbooks in place. You can find different pre-configured from the community or from Microsoft, depending on the workbook. Then we have here our community section, where you can also get information from the community blog or the community forums. And as well, we have the option here to open the GitHub repository of a Microsoft Defender for Cloud to get more workbooks, to get workflows which are automatically configured or which it's deployed from Microsoft or from the community. We will cover this also in a separate session. Okay, so here is the security posture details. So when we go to the subscription here, view recommendation, then we switch back to the recommendations, what you have seen before. And here we have the regular compliance option. In my case, I have here the Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark in place, AWS CIS, AWS Foundation Security Best Practices, and AWS PCI DSS 3.2.1. But a good starting point is always the Microsoft Security Cloud Security Benchmark. And here you can see the different options what you have. So when we go ahead and think about backup and recovery, in this case, protect your backup. You can see here I have 6 VMs and 6 of 8 VMs, and 6 of 8 VMs does not have backup enabled. And when we click on the section here, you can see here all unhealthy VMs. And we have 2 VMs which not applicable because it's not in the it's not enabled the VM. In this case, I have 6 VMs and this should enable here the backup. And you can also trigger here a logic app if you want to fix the problem, if you have the logic app in place, to automatically enable the backup for this VMs. You can also assign it to an owner. So in this case, another user, which is the owner. In this case, an email address, I'm sorry. And the due date, and also should the owner be notified. And when I click on save here, then I have assigned it to this owner. Okay, good. So we have also here another point. So this is from Microsoft Azure resources, but we also have here, when we go to the privileged access, I'm sorry, not privileged access, here in the identity management, you can see here, I also have here protect the authentication systems, access control EM for AWS. So I also scan the authentication engine in AWS as well in Microsoft Azure, so the Azure Active Directory, to enable multi-factor authentication or to reduce the permissions for, in this case, EM policies should be attached only to groups or roles. So here we have the recommendation. When we go here inside, you can see here what the problem is. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the different options what you have to enable your plans. So in this case, we have here our environment settings, and you can see here, I have here my tenant root group. So this is my management group, and under the tenant root group, I have here my subscriptions. When we select the subscription itself, you can see here, we have different plans, and you can enable Microsoft Defender for Cloud plan for different resource types. So when I enable it for the server perspective, I enabled it for 11 servers, and I can choose here what kind of plan should I use. And here you can see Microsoft Defender for Plan, the price for the server per server per month, and also the products which are included. And when I select Defender for Plan P1, here are the services which are included. So the Microsoft Defender for Service Plan 1 is for Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. So this is the new way to license server from on-premise or other hyperscaler and to install Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. So when you want to do this, you have to onboard the VMs over Azure Arc and enable Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, for those servers here. And you can choose it, you can select different workloads here. You can also select it for the Microsoft storage account. Here the normal price is $10 per storage account per month. Yes. Okay, then when we go ahead and talk about Key Vault, it's not a fixed price, so you pay 0.02 for 10,000 transactions. And when you have 20,000 transactions, you pay $0.04. Okay, so that's it. That's from the session from today. So it's really simple. You get an overview about Microsoft Defender for Cloud. When we think about the next sessions, we will go a little bit deeper, level 200, and we increase the level up to level 400. I hope you enjoyed the session. Please give me a feedback. Please visit me also on my social media channels, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can also write me an email if you want, contact me over my private blog. Stay tuned. See you soon.